is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy. And the other fucking guy who's got it all set up, ready to go, ready to roll is Leo. Leo, good Wednesday morning to you, brother.
Good morning, brother. How you doing?
I'm all right, man. I got my coffee here. They see me on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at the gas station at the corner there. That's where I go.
Best coffee in town.
Actually, I like their machine.
You'd be surprised how random shit like that is actually really good.
Yeah, and it's $2 and not $8.
Yeah, that's the best
part.
part.
That's good too. It tastes better than the $8 coffee. Because if the $8 coffee was better, you know what I'd do? I'd pay the $8, but it's not.
Absolutely.
It's not. And that, of course, is the voice of Mike. Mike, good morning to you, brother.
Good morning. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning. How you doing?
It is a beautiful Wednesday morning, but supposed to be in the 70s again.
Yeah, it's been.
Yeah.
Everybody back home is kind of pissed off at me. They're not. They're very jealous of the weather that we're getting lately.
Have I asked you where's back home?
It's in Ohio. It's but.
Oh yeah, we did talk about that.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It was Youngstown.
Yes, sir.
Area. All right. Yeah, I remember now. You got to, I only have so much space up here to, store information.
Got that recycle bin. Sometimes you got empty
something like that. And I is this something I need to retain or something? But, yeah. It wasn't, it was in that bin where you delete it, but it's not gone for 30 days.
Yeah.
So I pulled it out of there.
You just reset that clock, though.
Yeah, probably. It'd be another 30 days then. So, wow. Just so much shit. I can't keep up with it, man. I can't keep up. You know what we haven't talked about?
What's up?
Is we haven't talked about the Guthrie. We haven't talked about but everybody else is. So do we really need to talk about it? But that is kind of crazy.
Yes.
That they went back. So she hadn't paid the fee. So, but the camera was still working and still recording.
Yeah.
She just they couldn't access her file then until they went to the company and said, hey, can you do something here? And they went back and were able to pull footage that now shows that shit. Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know, did you see, this is kind of connected, not connected, but did you see the one commercial? Well, I think people should be upset. It made me uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. The commercial during the Super Bowl about Ring, the camera system, and the dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how they're using it to help find the lost dog.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the story? Lost dogs.
That's how they're going to paint it.
Or it's just, and you know what the thing is, and I don't know what to do about it, So I just think I don't go along, or I don't worry about it, or I worry about it, but I don't put it on my front burner because there's nothing I can do about it. Mm-hmm. But the surveillance system that we are now engulfed in is so much further along than people think about where you're at, your car tracking you, whether you're paying the fee or not. That motherfucking car is, and I'm just wondering, does there become a day, unless you own a 70 Impala or something, does there come a day when you can't speed anymore?
There could be.
Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because
like a governor on the engine.
Yeah, because they know everything about your car or everything about you, or you don't have any accidents. Maybe you haven't been ticketed, but you occasionally speed. I don't know anybody like that, but it's a possibility, allegedly, that people could do that, right, with sports cars and stuff like that.
Well, they don't have to be a sports car.
So they gonna start charging you more for your insurance.
Yep.
Because they can track your habits, or because right now you can sign up to let them track your habits.
Yeah, I opt out.
Who the fuck doesn't opt out?
Yeah.
Unless you're 80. Okay, so you can opt in, and if you're a good boy or girl, you can get a discount, but they're not tracking everybody else. Everything about everything is being tracked.
Mm-hmm. Nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can do. There's no safe place. Not on these. I don't even think there's a safe place in these apps. You know what I mean?
But it's not even just like companies like Ring or like Nest. I think that's what.
Yeah.
So it's everybody that has a phone now too. So they don't even necessarily have to have something up. People just anything anytime something happens, immediately people have their phone out. Doesn't matter what it is.
Well, and they did when Charlie was killed, and they had the dude in the time, and they had him walking around. That was people's Ring cameras too.
Yep.
And then, is there a light pole that there's not a camera on anymore?
I think they are. I think they just try to like keep it out of the public eye as much as possible, but they got that shit.
I see them everywhere.
Yeah.
I just see so much surveillance.
I think it's like an out of sight, out of mind for most.
And some people, obviously they're going to say, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, well, what's your wrong?
Yeah.
What's your wrong?
It's not so much about whether you're doing something right or wrong.
Privacy, man. It's like, that's not what this country was founded on.
Yeah,
That's
the
some
right
crazy
to privacy.
Shit. Yeah. I don't know.
We didn't.
But that was just, and I actually think, I'm going to throw this out there real quick and then we'll get to our actual format of the show. That the eyes and the lips and stuff that you see of the person in the ski mask.
Yeah.
I think somebody's going to be able to identify that dude.
Just by that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't
Some
doubt
people, I saw online, this is crazy, that some people were trying to suggest that that was the daughter.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm like,
Fuck no.
I don't see that in the lips and the formation of the lips.
Yeah,
the eyes. They had a picture that where one set of eyes out of the three looked a little similar, but the lips gave it away. And how do I want to say this? It didn't look like the person. I could be wrong because it was a gray and white photograph, but I don't know if they've said because not following this minute by minute. But maybe you saw this, and maybe they don't want to say, even though it's pretty obvious. It looked like it was a person that wasn't white.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I mean, you can gather that just from the shade.
Right.
Even though it's black and white, you can still gather that from the shading.
I did.
I kind of brought up the idea like potentially it could be a family member or somebody that knows the family as well, because everything about it is just so weird, like so odd.
You know what the other really weird thing was? That the person thought they could take some weeds and cover up the camera. Like, it's already too late, dude. What is it you even doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What was the purpose of that, of holding some thin weeds over the camera?
Yeah.
Or, the...
Well, they've been getting
that was dumb.
They've been getting a lot of imposter ransom notes too. Like,
oh yeah, that happens.
And it's just everything about it's so just so odd. Like it's the timing of it, the actual target itself. Like if you're gonna go after somebody who's a high profile personality, I mean, I get she's on TV. Like she probably has more money than most, but you probably can find other people. Not the idea.
There was. Like, remember, I told you I grew up in a town of 2,200, right? Mm-hmm. There was a man who was arrested that lived literally 2 houses down from me that was the uncle of a kid that I went to school with and was friends with, who got busted or arrested for trying to get a ransom from there was a banker in town. His daughter was kidnapped and killed.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. It was a big deal. And because that doesn't happen in our little tiny town like that. And they tried to connect him as the killer that never happened and stuff, but they did connect him with the ransom note. And that is a thing that people try to do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's fucked up, but
it's very fucked up.
People see any sort of opportunity and they try to take it.
I just don't, how often I can understand how that might work if you're an American and somebody takes you hostage in Mexico or some South American country or something like that, that people can actually get ransoms. But in the U.S.? How common is that for people to do that and are successful and get away with it? Who thinks that's? I just don't. Of all the ways to be a crook and try to get money, that seems like one of the least smart ways. And I could be wrong.
They were able to track one of the ransom notes back to the person that sent it, so they're going to be facing some serious crime penalties.
Oh yeah,
they're fucked, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it's not quite as bad as being the one who did a murder, but it's pretty close. It's really bad.
Your moral compass, I don't even want to know the other shit that you think is okay.
Yeah, that's fucked up for sure. All right. Now, we do have an outline for the show. So where are we starting at today? Who's starting?
So
who's reading it off?
I could start.
All
so
right.
I figured I'd kick this one off because I'm a little bit less well versed in this field. So we're just kind of brainstorming like a tier list for you to put together. And we came across one. It was peptides and then basic PEDs. So based on the options that we have here below, you will put them at the top is going to be S tier, which is the absolute best of the best. Then you have your A tier, B tier, C tier, D, F, and it just correspondingly goes down. Basically, how you would want to rank them. And there's no real limit in terms of the amount that you can put in each tier.
Okay.
But so that's just basically a quick rundown. You just decide what is
so
the
we
best.
Starting at the first row. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, the very bottom.
Yeah, we can start.
Well, I'll list them off for you just because I know they're a little hard to read.
Yeah, they're a little bit smaller. But yeah, we can go ahead and we can get started. It looks like the first one is Anavar.
Okay, now that is not real Anavar. That's totally fake. That's over-the-counter bullshit. Real Anavar is not sold over the counter, and that's just totally fake shit that somebody should never buy. The real Anavar typically is either a pill or a capsule, and is a great. It's a great steroid, boys and girls. It's when they talk about Anavar and say that it's mild, they mean mild as far as potential side effects. And people like what I believe about side effects is people go overboard a lot of times with side effects as far as thinking that everything gives everybody side effects and they're expected. What should I be looking out for? You'll know. But this one it's very, very rare for men and women. And the cool thing about it for women is it's one women can use they can actually add some size and add some muscle with if they do it in the right dosage. And a lot of people misdose Anavar. But Anavar should not be done alone. It should be, at least for men, it should be done in conjunction with doing testosterone. You could do it if you were doing TRT, but I don't really understand the point of that. It's more of if you're going to do a cycle, and it's definitely one going into summer, and people want to get a little more cut and stuff. Yeah. People like because your strength goes up. It targets visceral fat. It does just a bunch of awesome things.
So is this
really
that this version of Anavar
is totally garbage if you ever see this. But the real Anavar is excellent.
So just for
something that I use fairly regular basis.
So just for the purposes of the stream, I guess we'll pretend that's the real Anavar.
Oh, right.
Or the real Anavar. So where would you actually rank that in terms of the
I would put it in the top tier.
S tier? Okay.
Yeah, I would put it in tier 1 or tier A or whatever, however we.
Well, S tier is like
what's S?
Elite. It's like that's the best of the best. A is like really good. B is like solid.
I would put it in the S tier.
Okay, perfect.
Just because it has so many really good uses for a wide range of people. You know what I mean? For sure. Like I said, for both men and women, for sure.
Yeah. So it looks like looks like the next one we have is BPC157.
Yeah. So BPC 157 keeps growing in popularity because it fucking works. It's a healing peptide. Absolutely, I would put that in the top tier of peptides. And like I even had my doctor talk to me about dosing of BPC 157 and things. Yeah, it's real interesting, but it's a healing peptide. It's a great healing peptide. And it's just going to keep continuing the popularity. In fact, it's so good that it almost seems too good to be true. That's how good it is.
Like
But
some
it
sci-fi
literally cuts the healing time in half. So if you have an issue with, the best example that I always like to use is somebody who has tennis elbow, tendonitis in their elbow.
Yep.
And I used to get cortisone shots.
Oh yeah.
And the cortisone shots most of the time would work for me, but all they did was cover it up
Yeah.
for a month. And if I was really good, it would cover up for 4 months or longer, right? And this is not something that covers it up. It actually helps heal that area.
Problem.
Yeah. And so, your good doctors are becoming more familiar with it and at least helping their patients, dose and use it properly or getting in the game where they should be.
Yeah. Sure.
Just like everything shouldn't be tied to writing a script.
No, you're
for
right.
a doctor. You know what I mean? As far
Just
as
have an
health.
open mind.
Yes. So, and that can be with exercise, that can be with diet, everything. So, this definitely very, very high on the list. I would put that in the top tier for sure.
So it looks like the next one we have up.
No clue.
I can't see the next one on, but
it's not one I've used or had any clients used.
Sarah Brolison. Is that not?
Neither one of those two.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with it, we can skip it.
Yeah,
there's quite a few of
yeah,
these.
There's a lot. There's a lot of them in here.
Neither one of those.
All right. So it looks like the next one we have, what is that? CJC 1295 DAC.
That's with DAC. It either comes with DAC or without DAC, and that's how long it stays in your system. Pretty much people lean more towards the no DAC, but that is a growth hormone peptide that's going to help increase your natural production of growth hormone. So I think those are solid for people that are, in the 20 to 40-year-old range. Above that, usually I think people, and we'll get to it, the HGH, people need to be looking more at the human growth hormone as what they should be using. I personally haven't used CJC, and the ipamorelin blend, I personally haven't used it because I take real HGH.
Okay.
So that's why this would be of no value to me. I'm not saying it doesn't have any value for older people, but I think it's pushed a lot on some people because of the cost comparison between that and the HGH. When really the idea should be, this shouldn't be high on somebody's list, and no matter how good it is, I would probably put it in the B area.
Okay.
On our list there. And the reason I'm putting it there is not because it doesn't work or it's not good. It's just because there needs to be priorities with all of these. And what's your goal? What are you trying to do? Overall health, building muscle. What are you getting the best bang for your buck?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So I would definitely say it that for that reason, like that shouldn't be one of the first things you're going to. The first thing you should always do is get your testosterone levels checked. Just get complete labs for all your hormones, and even if you're already using, get labs. I'm somebody who big time pushes getting lab work done prior to ever putting anything into your body. And then as you go as well, because everybody's going to be different. A certain dose is going to result in a different level. If we gave everybody the same dose, 5 milligrams of something, everybody's going to get a different reaction from it.
Yeah.
You're going to have some people in the middle, some people on the high end, some people on the low end. Their body just doesn't process it as well, and maybe they need a higher amount, whatever is, or maybe it's just not for them. That happens too. So that's what I would.
A lot of variables involved.
A lot of variables involved in that, but it's just it's not about if it's good or not. It's more about that. That's something you do when you've got and you have the money, when you got everything else fixed, you know, and you want to start now fixing the little things and stuff, and you have the money to be able to do it. Then go right ahead. You know,
so
go right ahead.
B tier is a solid. You think that's a solid area for it? There?
Yeah.
Okay.
For that reason.
Perfect.
I would put it there.
All right. So it looks like the next one that we have here, CJC 1295 SMG. With ipamorelin.
Oh, I put those two together.
And together? Okay.
Yeah, because that's usually I'd recommend people that if you're going to use the CJC, use the blend in that particular one. And you know, there are times when I've said you don't want to do a blend because of certain dosing things, or one thing might be dosed different than the others. But no, I would put those same category. There's not huge difference there.
Right. Beautiful.
Other than you're adding the ipamorelin, but you're getting other benefits with that. So I would still put them the same level, same tier.
So the next one that we have, and I actually thought this was just for helping you regrow your hair if you need it.
Yeah.
But, finasteride.
Yeah. I'd put that like at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just a lot of negatives with that one that it's gonna see, and that's just after I just said all that shit about side effects.
Yeah.
The sides are not good. That's not your best option. If you really have an issue with your hair, you know, there's really not a lot of things that you can do that are over the counter or even prescribed. There's just not a lot you can do.
It's tough.
And they have made it way cheaper now to get where they take, you know, the hairs from the back and move them to the front. And I've known people do that. And you can get that done. You should be able to get that done for under 10 grand now.
Yeah, it's like,
you know, down here. Yeah.
I've looked into it.
One of the great place to go get stuff done. I almost went for my teeth is Turkey.
Yep. That's like the hub for it.
Yeah. And they put you up. You're like on vacation. It's bloody. It's a mess, but they take care of you. You get food. But I've known several people who have done it and have done the teeth over there as well. Yeah. That's what I would do.
Yeah. It's just the hub over there.
Yeah. I think that would be better. Now, I did see you have somewhere in there the GHKCU, which is a peptide that potentially can help with that.
I see that.
But the problem with that is, and I've seen some companies come out with a product like it's almost like little needles that you're poking your head because typically somebody is going to inject GHKCU. You know, they're going to use an insulin pen or something to do an injection. But that's one that if you really want to use it for real hair improvement and not get the surgery, it almost needs injected to your head. And should you be injecting your own head? Probably not.
I would.
Okay, and I don't know any doctor around here that's doing that either. So, like, yeah, it's like you're probably an idiot if you like. I get Botox done, okay, but I could get real Botox way the fuck cheaper than I can by paying the doctor that I pay, right?
Yeah,
but I'm not paying for the Botox with the doctor. I'm paying for the doctor to do it. It's just like people don't realize is why do you know why an aspirin, you know, you're charged on your bill when you're in the hospital and people would look at their bill charges and they're charged sometimes $20 for an aspirin. No. You know why that is?
No.
Because a nurse is giving it to you. She went to school. They got to pay her.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. It seems crazy in different hospitals, different ways, but that's the bottom line. That's really why. Because a nurse is giving it to you. that had to be
makes-
educated.
It makes. I mean, I don't agree with it, but it makes sense. Though.
Right. Yeah.
100%.
I'm just telling you, that's the reason. Well, like I wouldn't do my own Botox and I wouldn't inject GHK myself into my head either. So
Yeah,
there you
that
go.
is an official advisory. Do not inject stuff into your head. So then the next one we have on the list here, it's dutasteride.
Same thing is the finasteride. Like, yeah.
It's very okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm just not, you know what? You know what I'm a big proponent of?
what
Shave your motherfucking head.
I did.
Like I don't even, I actually, although it might be getting thinner, I still got hair.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a
You lucky son of a bitch.
yeah, I don't have a sand trap on the top of my head. You know what I mean? So, but it's, I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm bald on purpose. I'm bald on purpose.
Bald is beautiful, people.
Because I went to like super short, like 1, 2, like 2 here, 1 here, and fading super tight down to, and getting my hair, getting that shaved like that once a week, every week, and did that. And it was finally like, you know what? Well, actually, you know what happened is I called it my Britney Spears moment. When I was going through a lot of shit in my life and I did something stupid, I'd always checked in the mirror and held my hands over the top of my head like an idiot, trying to picture what I would look like bald. Did you do that before you shaved?
Well, they have apps now, so I can just
That's so funny.
I didn't like the way I looked either way, but I didn't really have a choice. So
that's good.
So for the next one, you did kind of go over the GHKCU.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one for, I just was saying don't inject it in your head yourself, but that is more of a longevity peptide.
So would that be like a B tier or? In terms of overall effectiveness, I guess we'll say.
It's effective, but again, like in terms of priority, I'd probably put it even under the CJC. So I'd put it as a C.
A C tier? Okay.
C. And again, that's not because I feel like it's not effective or not a good peptide. It is. But should that be where your first priority is? Other things need to be considered way before that.
How about the cream version of the GHK?
Fuck no.
That's an
Fuck
automatic F.
Yeah. Fuck the, stuff that's up there too in the pills and stuff too.
So the GHRP2 and GHRP6, how is that?
At this point, they're not two peptides that I try to focus on and work with people on. Not every peptide because they keep coming up with more and more, but focusing on what works and what people want, what kind of results, people want. So, I kind of have a menu of that, and that's not on the menu yet. But there are like some that aren't on my menu that I'm adding, and I don't know if I've seen it yet on your list or your pictures, but like MOTC is a really super popular peptide right now that people are using for recovery purposes.
Okay.
And a lot of great positives for it. The very negative for it, that shit's fucking expensive, dude. Like 10 milligrams from some of these peptide companies like a Swiss Chems or a Peptide Science, they're running $90 to $110 per 10 milligrams.
Oh, yeah, I saw.
And now we have access to it, or I have access to it, 40 milligrams for just over a couple $100.
Yeah.
Way different. But it's still not cheap. You know what I mean? It's still not cheap at that.
And even on these, like these Row.co commercials, they talk about how
they're in trouble too.
Why? What'd they do?
They were selling a GLP pill for like $50, and now they're being sued
because it's not good.
Oh, because that's big pharma, man.
Yeah,
that's why they have patents on things and stuff.
Oh, because
you know what
they're
I mean?
not getting their
and
the
GLP-1s. I'm not a fan of it being a pill. Leo's heard me say this before. Don't be a pussy. Stop being a pussy about needles. Okay, some stuff is just better needle.
Straight to the stream.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I don't know. Do you have NAD plus on the list? Is NAD plus on your list?
There's a lot. We'll have to.
Yeah, we might need to break this up.
For sure.
Because we could do a whole show on this.
Yeah.
The way we're going. But NAD plus, again, another very popular one. It's one I'm using. Has a lot of great benefits for skin and just hair, just overall, and for brain fog. That's the thing I really take it for is, eliminating brain fog, especially with all the things I have going on. And I wanted every advantage I could get. But that's one that probably the best way to do it would be like an IV drip. But who has time to do that every week? And the expense would be just through the roof. And I got money like to do this shit. The best way to do that then is sub-Q. It's sub-Q. And some of this stuff they come up with nasal, they come up with pills. Like we talked about the BPC 157, and I think I saw on the list too, you had a picture of it in pill form. If you have stomach issues that you're trying to heal, maybe the pill form, but you can also use the injectable. But for injury purposes, you're trying to heal, like we were talking about the tendonitis and stuff, you want to inject that close to the area.
Yeah.
So you can't do that with the pill.
Yeah,
so that's not the best option for it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So some things it's not that it's not good. And we could go over to another one that I did see on your list too, the TB500. And that would fall in the same category as the BPC 157. In fact, when people use them together, that's called the Wolverine stack because of the healing and how it helps so quickly. Okay. Now, they actually sell that in a powder form where they're together, but it's not good because they're both dosed differently. Mm-hmm. So if you get that and you say, oh, but it works for me, it's really because of the BPC 157 that you're benefiting from. Because if you reconstitute it properly for the BPC 157, you're not getting very much of the TB 500 that's making a difference. So they're good to use at the same time, but not in the same bottle, because one you're going to do every day and the other one you're going to do twice a week. Okay. And you're going to do a different amount. So there's little things like that with the peptides, mm-hmm. right? That people don't know. I heard it was good. I'll just buy them together. And that's what people do because they got nobody to really guide them through this stuff. And then you got these influencers. I think we did it one time where Leo put together a really cool thing where I was doing react videos, and we're still going to do those, I mm-hmm. think, right?
Yeah.
But we did a react video to this dude. He had this incredible list of shit to take, this stack to dude, who are you? No.
Nuking his body, basically.
Well, it was just too many things. And, you kind of want to try things too, one at a time or not more than a couple. Or like I said, you could do the BPC 157 and TB 500, separately, but at the same time kind of a thing. But you might just want to do the BPC 157 to start and see if that just works versus doing both right off the bat and spending the money, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's kind of a money thing too. And most of these people don't give a fuck about your damn money. They just want it, and they're not going to give you your advice, and you're on your own kind of a thing.
So just for time purposes, I guess we'll just do a speed run through these
real
quick.
Let's do that.
But we definitely can do a more in-depth show.
Sure.
That way you can explain a little bit further on why. So the next one that we have is the HGH.
I would put that as A.
A tier? Okay.
Mm-hmm. A, not S, the A, yep.
And since you already mentioned TB500, would you put that with the S tier with the BP157? I believe that's where it's at.
I would put it A tier.
A tier. Okay. TB500. All right. So
I prioritize the BPC 157 over the TB 500.
Okay.
That's why.
And actually, what we can do is we can save this list, and then we'll have the show.
Sure.
And we can go through why you put them there.
Sure.
So next we have is the IGF DES.
Yeah, the IGF-1 is what I recommend and what I personally use. And that, I think I'm going to throw that in the A.
Okay.
Yeah, because that shit, the pump on that shit is fucking unreal.
So
And you feel that start working fast, like
yeah.
fast. Yeah, that first week.
So you say
do.
you personally you said you
And
personally
I didn't
take,
use it for years and years because I was a pussy, but
so
no issues. I put it way up there.
you took you said you personally took IGF-1 or that's what you would-
IGF-1.
Okay, so where would you put
Yeah.
that in?
That's
the
just
S
the
tier?
most. I would put that tier. Yeah.
S tier. Okay.
No, the A tier.
Oh, A tier.
The
sorry.
A tier. It's not the most important. Like where you start getting into the testcypionate and the nethate. If you see those on there that you had pictures of at the very far right and very far left.
Oh yeah, I
You
see.
see those two? Those two should be S tier. That's number one. That should be even ahead of the Anabar. Yep, that one and the other one on the far right. Like I would put it before the Anabar, but both on the same tier, but is important. But that's literally the most important thing. The most important thing out of everything on here. And of course, that's not a peptide. You know, it's testosterone is a steroid.
Beautiful. So next up, we do have the MK677.
What's that?
MK677.
Yeah, not a fan. People can use it to eat more. People think they're safe. Mistakenly think they're safe or safer than testosterone and other steroids. Now, this one has more of a function of helping to increase growth hormone, but I'm with the peptides there. I wouldn't put it, I don't know. So I would put it as F, that I don't like it.
Okay. So
I'm just not a fan. And it's something, because it can be sold for research purposes only.
yeah.
And so it's a gray legal area. It's where you get a lot of high school kids that want to experiment with shit will get involved in that. And that's bullshit, man. Like fucking lift for a while, man. Just lift. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Just lift. Do it. Be natural for a minute, for God's sakes. You know, the first time you get into the gym, you know, your first few years, unless you're genetically gifted and you plan on being a bodybuilder, a competitive bodybuilder at an early age, fucking see how far you can go. And then when you max yourself out and you're about as good as you can be, then you can think about that. And then also maybe your brain is fucking developed more and you're not an idiot.
Yeah.
And you can make a good decision for
Yeah.
yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All about that brain power.
Brain power.
So next up, we have the retatrutide. If I'm
Retatrutide.
retatrutide, that's next up here. Where would you rank that one?
I think that retatrutide and any of the GLPs, I think they're some of the best tools for weight loss that we've ever come up with. So I would put that in, because, you know, 60% or about 60% of Americans are either overweight or obese. I'm going to put it in the very top tier, the
Okay.
S tier, because it's important. And, but again, it needs to be used right. You need to have the proper instruction on diet. You need to have the proper instruction on, you know, working out. But I put it up there because I think it's important for our country.
Okay.
I am not for using that with minor children. And
I understand that.
I'm not. Even with the parents' consent, I'm really not for that.
So we have, after that one, I believe the next one, where were we at, Leo? Sorry, I lost my spot. Yeah, so we're just on the, the
Same thing. Put the same place.
S tier, okay.
Yep, that's same with the Retta. Yep.
And then next one we have is for me, it's a C-Max. I don't know what's next for you, Leo. I think our list is a little bit different for whatever reason. Like randomized it.
C-Max is something that people have been asking me about.
Oh, sorry,
I don't.
C-Lank.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't carry that. I don't have anybody that's used that I know of. So
Or
like,
the
I don't have any personal experience with it.
Okay.
So I really don't want to comment on speculation. I'd rather comment on the ones that I've actually used, either myself or had clients use, that I can give more accurate information on.
Okay. And what? So we are moving on to C-Max.
Same thing.
Same thing. Okay.
People have been asking about it, and it should be in one of those tiers. I'm just not there yet. If that makes sense, I'm just not
absolutely.
there to tell you what I really think of it compared to other choices.
All right. So we're actually gonna do like a twofer here. So we have the melanotin 1 and melanotin 2.
Okay, I don't use the melanotan 1.
Melanotan.
That's how I pronounce it, melanotan. The melanotan 2 I use, they used to call it the, it's not that I don't know. I would just put the 1 at the F, and I would put the 2 at the B. It's effective. It works. I could tan a redhead on that shit, dude. It helps. It helps with tanning. And the reason it was called the Barbie drug is because for women, you would get a little boost in libido. Okay. And you would get the tanning, and then you would get a little bit of appetite suppressant too.
Okay.
Thin, tan,
beautiful.
yeah, the Barbie, right?
That's
like
what they wanted.
And there was a time I used it. Now it helped. Even after stop using it, your skin isn't going to go back to being pasty white. You know, it's
Yeah,
just
it's not one of those things
And when I've been on it, and if you do that in conjunction with tanning, you tan so much faster. And so if you like, oh fuck, I need, we decide to go on a trip, and I don't want to burn up and get, sunburn, and I want to tan up a little bit beforehand, and you got a week, shit's fucking awesome, dude.
No, I know.
And I've been dark enough on that shit where there were people that thought I was a different ethnicity. That's how fucking tan I was, dude. So it's still something I use occasionally. Haven't used it really recently. Dawn has used it, and she used it to get pretty tan before her competition.
Yeah.
And then they get the spray tan and stuff to it. But she had a good base tan. She wasn't white for her base. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but you gotta, for men, you don't so much get the increased libido that way, but you're going to wake up with a little bit more and harder morning wood with that too.
Well,
So,
good news for everybody out there.
yeah, melanotan too.
So next we have the same thing. We have the GHRP2 and GHRP6.
Yeah, I think I kind of said with those same thing. Like I haven't recommended those to anyone yet.
Okay, so that's more.
So I'm familiar with them, but not
enough
as far as not personally used or had a client use.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then I think we
Yeah, see, that's the IGF-1 LR3.
Yeah.
That's that of the IGFs. That's the one that I've
That's the S tier.
personally used. Yeah.
Best of the best.
No, I put it with the other one,
A.
A.
Okay.
But that's the one I've personally used, and you're gonna have the least side of negatives.
All right.
So
So next up we have the minoxidil tablets.
again, we're talking about hair shit,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I recognize that because of that reason.
yep. And what did you think?
I didn't like.
You didn't use it, or
I
use
did,
it?
but like I just didn't see results, and I wasn't willing to commit that much time for that long of a period of time.
Yeah.
It's like twice a day. I had to like put it on 2 hours before work, and it's just a lot.
A lot.
And
100%.
in terms of time,
so with you there.
not worth it. So next we have, I believe, what was that? The oxytocin? Yeah. Oxytocin.
Yeah, that I do have clients using right now, along with the PT141 for libido purposes. And, if somebody is, especially if you're married and you're in a relationship, and I'm sorry for people who don't agree with this, but if you don't think sex is a big part of relationship, it is. And, but I'm not in the mood. Well, you have a right to not be in the mood. You have a right to that feeling, but, that's That's not a good long-term plan for that relationship. It
No,
just
not
isn't.
at all.
And so definitely for someone who's having issues in that area, definitely very popular and liked. So I would probably put it in the AB area. You know, for somebody that's an issue for, you know, you definitely want to be, yeah, you can leave it at A.
All right. Beautiful.
And like I said, the other one that goes along with that is the PT141, and I don't think that's on our list here. So,
So we have Sermorelin
Sermorelin is like the CJC, so that can go there.
in the A.
Yeah, the growth hormone peptide. It's
Okay,
going to
good.
increase your natural growth hormone.
How about the Tessamorelin or I don't know if that's right.
Yep, same thing.
A tier as well.
It's just it's just like the Sermorelin,
Okay.
but the main difference is Sermorelin increases your growth hormone through one pathway, and Tessa does it in two pathways. So
Okay.
a little bit stronger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, a little bit stronger, but money wise and stuff, especially if somebody that's younger, you can definitely still get results with the Sermorelin. You don't have to go with, everybody always wants what's the big strongest, what's the best, man, what's the best. The test prop is going to go up there with the other testosterones. That's S tier, man. There's nothing more important for men than what your testosterone level is. Nothing more important for men.
Well, I have a feeling.
I don't know
guess
how
with
to
this
put
last
it
one-
any other way.
This last one's probably gonna go the same way, unless I'm misinterpreting here. But the last one looks to be Test U 250. Not too sure what that is.
That's undecanate. That's like a very, very long ester. You can put it up there, but you don't see it used a lot.
Okay.
Testosterone is testosterone. And all of those testosterones in that S tier is in the very highest, and most important, the difference between prop and nethate and cypionate is the half-life. It's just how long is it going to stay in your system? That's what it is. And, I'm more of a person that, likes to now do less more often. And so, yeah, there's the other options are better, but it's not a terrible option. But, it's usually sold to people as, oh, you don't have to inject as often, every 3 weeks or something like that. But it's testosterone. So,
Beautiful.
yeah, that's where I would put it.
So
up there.
we have this list here. We'll save this, and what we'll do is
Yeah.
we'll even get some, like, you can throw some in there.
And
that
this,
are missing.
this would be a good one for people when you're seeing this episode and you catch this part of it, to put questions in the comment area on, which peptides you're interested in, which you may be using yourself, what your experience has been. I love to hear from people doing that. And that's one of the benefits that I have as being a consultant and helping people with this is I just don't have my own. If you get in a group, right? If you get in a group, the thing about that group is the people commenting in that Facebook group or whatever you get in, they're going to be sharing their personal experience. That's one experience. I share mine plus that of 4,000 others. Now, depending on whether we're talking about testosterone or a particular peptide, it might be 500, it might be 2,000, it might be 3,000 people. But if you get what I'm trying to say here, that
There's a large sample size.
Large, my unscientific study of what works in the real world. And if you don't think doctors do that, then you're dumb as shit. Okay. I mean, real world experience. Okay. A doctor that's seen certain things, and the longer they're a doctor, the more chances that they've seen more shit and seen the shit that doesn't happen very often, so that when it happens to you, there was a time in my career where I didn't know the answer to this, and now I do because I've had to deal with it 3 times over 20 years or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's what I
So
would say
yeah,
about that.
so that was our first segment there. We will definitely
I like that.
revisit
That was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
And you can tell, I'm
yeah,
I
that's
start
one-
firing off about that shit,
So next we do have, a pretty big story here. Mamdani defends suspect over police in this call to a man that was dealing with a mental health episode from what has been detailed.
So here's the thing. Mamdani, he thinks that we should not be sending police officers to domestic disputes quite so often, and that we should be sending mental health people.
Yeah, like worker, like social
I was trying
workers.
to figure out, like, was it? Yeah, mental health workers, whatever, experts. I don't know what their level of expertise is, but he thinks that's one thing he thinks we should be doing, right?
I disagree.
And yeah, a lot of people do. And so this is something that happened where a cop is called and somebody has a knife. He won't drop the knife. He ends up getting shot. He does survive. He's not killed by the cop. And Mamdani goes and he doesn't visit the cop that saved a person's life in also in this, which we'll see in the video, and saved his own. If you send a mental health worker to this, you think they got some magic fucking words for people? Like, I mean, sometimes it's tough with mental health. That it's like saying that somebody is not guilty by reason of insanity, right? Mm-hmm. No, you're guilty by reason of insanity. You may be insane. You still did it. You're not innocent because of that. Okay. You're guilty because of that. And that's what happens. I kind of view it like that. And I don't know what they think. You could end up with the mental health worker, and this, especially in this situation we're going to see, where they would end up dead, and so is the other person. I just don't know what magic words they're going to have this person always climb down from the edge. And, mental health issue or not, safety should come first. And that's your job as a mayor. One of your top jobs, besides keeping the streets clean, getting the garbage picked up, your basics. You want to ask people what they really, really want, is they want you to stop voting on putting up a gay pride flag in front of the, city offices. They want you to stop voting and worrying about that shit and get the trash picked up on time, because that's a problem in New York right now. They're actually stacking trash back like when they used to, when New York City was a shithole. Wow. And it was a big shithole. I mean, I'm still a dirty city.
It's less of a shithole.
But, yeah, people came in and cleaned it up and things happened. But now, I mean, there's mountains and mountains of garbage and people, just regular people. So you never saw this before. That didn't happen in the 70s or 80s or 90s. People didn't have these devices to just record shit and then get it out to so many people on their own. But people are doing that now, and they're pointing it out like, look, I saw this one guy talking, he's like, I'm 6 foot tall. The garbage, literally, it's a wall of garbage bags, black garbage bags, and it's 6 foot tall. I can't see over it. That was this dude, right?
Disgusting.
You want that kind of stuff, but safety of your citizens should be fucking huge. That's exactly what they should be doing, and they're not doing by not cooperating with ICE and that kind of thing. It's a fucking mess. But what an affront. I mean, I would be so outraged. And that's another thing right now. We're going to have a shortage of cops, and we maybe already do, but in the near future, because the way cops are being treated right now, who the fuck would want to be a cop for that money? And be abused by people and being told you're garbage and you're shit. You should quit your job. And just, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's insane, man. And to not visit, I don't even know why you visit the person. He's not a victim. I don't know. Let's watch the video. It's just so frustrating. This shit.
Give a little better context.
Yeah. I want people to see this, because I was like, oh, wow. And here you go. This is body cam. I think
Unredacted.
I think it's great, but especially when we get into talking about ICE and Border Patrol and that they're all going to have cameras and stuff on them, I tell you what, these liberals are going to come to regret how hard they push for that shit. It's going to backfire on them fucking big time.
We're about to see about to see living proof of that right now.
Let's do that. That sounds good. Can we got sound?
Yes, sir.
Yep, cool.
He knew, he was like, I don't got a good feeling about this.
He's backing up. Yeah, because this is a good idea.
It was immediately. Like nothing else, no words.
Who's that? I don't know who that person is. I didn't even notice them the first time. Did you?
The lady?
The person off to the right.
Yeah,
all the way to the right against the wall.
Oh, no, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, look, the face is covered up, just like the woman's face is covered up, right?
It's probably like his grandma or something like that.
I don't know. They're wearing gloves. They look like they have their jacket on.
True. And they're holding something like a...
So did they come from someplace?
They even closed the door and tried to like
Yeah.
de-escalate that way, and he just kept pushing forward.
Yeah, and we don't see, you know, did he start turning and going back towards her? Oh, look, he's right up to the door.
Oh, yeah, he's right on that.
He's right up to the door. And the cop, you know, they always say that they think cops can do this easily, but and I didn't read the detail. But look, he didn't. He could have killed him. He could have killed him
easily.
He was shooting to stop him, not kill him.
To immobilize. Yeah.
I mean, he's close enough. Like if you can't put two in the skull from that range, you probably suck as a shot, right?
Oh. Great. Thank you.
Yeah, every fucking thing they do. Every fucking second. Like, you don't have time. And so what's the alternative? Again, I would hate to be a cop right now, Border Patrol, regular cop, any kind of cop right now, because you're thinking, okay, if I do discharge my weapon, then look what can happen. Look what can happen to me. But what if I don't discharge my weapon? Then maybe I don't get to go home to my wife, my family, because they have families too. You know what I mean? And look, I'm all about, you know, I'm all about when there are cops that do bad things or that do dumb things, that we should acknowledge that and we shouldn't defend them. That they should be charged and gone after like anyone else would be. I don't think all are good, but I think a majority of them. I don't think we have just a bunch of rogue people out there wearing blue that are like, man, I can't wait to get into a shootout today. I can't wait to take somebody out. Like that's not I'm sorry. I'm not there. I don't think that. And there's no real evidence to suggest that either, you know? It's just not. the number of even because this always used to be an issue, the number of black people killed by cops is like 0.0000. Like it's that community is not dying because of police officers.
Yeah.
You know, mostly white people are dying because they're getting shot by other white people more than other ethnicities. And that goes for every ethnicity.
Yeah.
They're most of the crime against them is from their own ethnicity, but then you do have, you know, obviously crossover too.
Yeah.
That's the thing, but yeah.
I think that's where it gets emphasized with the crossover.
But Mamdani, I don't understand like why you would like so many missteps, but that just tells you like, what did you expect, New York? What did you expect? And I think it's just horrendous, though, that he would go visit this guy in the hospital.
And not the cop.
You either go visit the cop or you don't visit either one.
Or both.
But you know what I mean?
Or both, maybe.
I don't know. Why
favoritism. From a politician standpoint, I can see why both would be a...
I can't. What that dude did is wrong,
Absolutely.
and he should be charged, and he should be in jail.
I'm in favor of like, yes, you can have like some sort of mental episode, but you can still be held accountable for what you did. Like,
put him in. We need to open mental institutions. You know, we cleared them out years ago. You know, we did.
Yeah. It was a little bit.
Yeah,
it was a little bit more.
But we should have those again, man. We should try again.
A little bit better this time.
Yeah, a little bit better.
Treat them a little bit
Not
nicer.
treating
this
them
time.
like shit, but
Yeah.
we should try again, dude.
Give them the help that they actually need, not just be like, "Oh, you're crazy. Here's a fucking straitjacket."
Yeah, and then what should be done is get you healthy so you can go to regular fucking jail and finish that shit out. Not you know, if you did something bad and you hurt somebody and you committed a felony, yeah. Give them the help, and when they're better, put them in the regular jail where they belong.
Kind of like a
you don't get a get out of jail early card for that shit, dude.
It's like assimilating them back into like not normal, but you know what I mean. Definitely not there.
That's where I'm at on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of when they voted him in, I was like, what the fuck are you thinking? Anything that happens, every single one of you deserve what happens because you fucking picked this.
Yeah, for sure.
Crazy as hell to me.
For sure.
So yeah, I mean, there's not too much that's come out since then, but it is like a pretty, I don't know, it's a pretty important story in my opinion, just because of the nature of it and how it went down. But that does bring us to our next segment, which you'll probably have an easy time with this one as well. Leo, would you like to present this one, or I can take the controls here?
Well, I mean, Troy's gonna be doing most of the heavy lifting here. We just thought it'd be pretty fun to have you just kind of give us a few easy exercises for lazy people. Easy things that people can get in the gym and kind of get doing, person. Or even at home. You know, just the average workouts that people can get done.
So lazy people, look, everybody at a minimum can benefit by doing 30 to 40 minutes of doing some type of resistance exercise. And you can go to a gym and you can use weights. You can buy weights and use them in your house or in your garage. You can also use bands. You can also use body weight. But for the lazy person who really doesn't like, the person that really doesn't like going to the gym, if you really want to live a good, healthy life, 30 to 40 minutes twice a week. That's being lazy. Okay, that's the minimum you got to figure out how to do. And if you can't do some type of resistance training, then you need to be walking. God made you to fucking walk. Okay, and don't tell me how much you walk at work. I don't care if you walk 3 miles a day at work. All right, you're overweight. You're overweight walking 3 miles a day. You're so overweight. So your walking doesn't mean shit. That's a part of your body's gotten used to that, and you are where you are. What are you doing above that? You got to do it above. Work doesn't count. All right, it just means you're sore or stuff. It doesn't mean work doesn't count for that kind of stuff and for health purposes and stuff. But again, for the lazy person, can you get on a treadmill, 20 to 30 minutes a day, or take a walk in your neighborhood at a brisk pace? Okay, not running, you don't have to swing your arms and be a super fast walker, but at a decent pace. Not when you're just like, moseying along and turning to your buddy and, you're just chatting and just kind of walking along. Yeah, right? No, not that. You got to do a decent pace. And don't tell me you don't know what that is. So that's for the lazy people. As far as, specific things, everything is at your fingertips right now. It's so easy. If you don't have any weights, if you can't afford the $30 to buy yourself some fucking bands, right, at Walmart or online or something like that. I bought bands during COVID, and I think it took 3 or 4 months to get them. Jesus. Because you couldn't get shit during COVID for a while, right? People having to do that. But yeah, if you can't do that, you can find body weight stuff, and if you don't think it's a real thing, you know what I would look up? Look up jailhouse body weight workouts.
Yeah. I'm
not kidding, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. There's some dudes that have some muscle or some definition that, not every jail or prison has at least I don't know about the prisons, but for sure the jails, they're not loaded with weight rooms.
Yeah, they're doing like all calisthenics.
Yeah, the prison I can think, you would, but in typical jail, yeah, that's not something you're always going to see. So body weight, different dips, putting 2 chairs together. Those motherfuckers know what they're doing. So yeah,
they have to
Google that shit.
They got to be creative. They got to be creative in a lot of different ways in there. So
yeah, absolutely. That's for you lazy people. Do a jailhouse workout.
All you lazy fucks, go to jail. You'll be ripped. So, all right, beautiful.
All right.
Any closing comments on that? Anything you wanted to?
Or you could just not be a lazy fuck.
All right.
There's always that option. Try not to be a lazy fuck.
There you are. The quote of the day. Try not to be a lazy fuck. So perfect. That does segue us into what I guess we titled this as our next story, but it's kind of picking up where we left off on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. It got a little bit to a point where you definitely had a lot to say, but for time purposes, you kind of held back. And just to kind of give you just a refresher.
Sure.
You're saying like, why do we always have we want to be the good guys, like,
don't we?
Exactly. And why, but it brought up that you watched that Mike Benz interview, but it made you question, if we're all the good guys, but he's saying that we're all pieces of shit. Where does that put us?
Now, there's another interview too. Sean Ryan just interviewed somebody. I'm like, it's a 4.5 hour interview, dude.
Holy fuck.
I'm like halfway through it.
That's insane.
And that's another one. And that partly is entitled. And I can thank my future brother-in-law for that one. And I watched Sean Ryan anyways, but he was like an hour in when he messaged me that I probably wanted to check that one out. But that's kind of in the title, are we the bad guys? Are we the good guys? Mm-hmm. What the fuck are we? And there's I grew up in the back of my head with the idea, and I don't know who planted it there, if it was my dad, if it was a teacher or what, but I kind of always had the idea that, they can't tell us everything. If they told us everything, there'd be anarchy in the street. And that's probably a lot of truth to that. And we're in a place now that we've never been before with the dissemination of information and how much faster it is and the number of different opinions that you get. You didn't get a lot of different opinions years ago. Even 50 years ago, you would get a handful of opinions from the major networks. And then you'd get some other opinions from the people that they interviewed and things like that. But, there was maybe a difference, but it was still like aligned, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't wild and crazy on either side. And, you know, we were all receiving about the same thing, where now people can feed their bias much more easily now. Whatever view you want to take, you can find justification for it out there somewhere pretty easily. And that's not necessarily a good thing. For myself, one of the things I do, I think it's on here. I was going to, the one guy mentioned this, and it's something that I do. And it was on that Sean Ryan show that this guy mentioned these aggregate sites that pull in the news and things like that. Mm-hmm. Well, there's one that I turned Leo onto. Let me put it up here. Straight Arrow News.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I'm a big fan of Straight Arrow News, and there's other ones like it. But here's what I like about it is they when they do a story or a topic, like here's one, and I'll just give you this example. The Virginia House, so you know the state legislature in Virginia, passed a bill to ban the sale of assault-style weapons, which isn't a thing. Okay, people, it's not a thing. Assault weapon is a made-up term. Okay, this particular story, 7% of this story was covered by the left. Yep. And I don't understand why the left wouldn't cover it more, because they support bans. Yeah, so I don't know why they're not covering this. 57% of the news stories out there are from right-leaning news organizations, which then leads, you know, so you put those two together and you're at 64. So that means 36% was in the middle. You know, that more centrally aligned, the news media sources that don't lean much left or lean right or supposedly, you know, and you know, especially for me, when it's an issue that I already have, you know, a fairly good opinion on, I like to specifically go to the other side. So I can click on the story, right? I can click on it and I can go down, and then I can choose. You know, there's one that was far left. See headline from left sources. And out of all of them, there were 32 that covered this. One was really from the far left, not just left of center, but far left, right? Yeah. And I can click on that, and it's Blavity News and Politics. I haven't even heard of that. But they're left-leaning, and I can read that story from their point of view. Mm-hmm. And what are they saying about this that I might not get from the right side, and compare and see which seems to make sense, you know? And that's how I like to do it, and that's how I would suggest other people do it. And it's just, I don't want to say it's a slippery slope, but look, we are all so busy with our daily lives. It's so hard to be on top of just every issue, and it's so hard to research everything yourself, and you're going to tend to focus on and research the things that you have the most interest in, right? Like I read a lot of sports because I've always liked sports. You know, I grew up, a lot of what I read was autobiographies or real life stuff about sports teams, coaches, athletes, the whole thing. Because that's what you read what you're interested in, and you focus on that stuff. What doesn't mean you don't want to know about the other things, but you do have to, and again, this is my thing with Candace Owens. You know, when it comes to the Charlie stuff right now, I'm really kind of on that side. I have questions. I like the questions that she's asking, and I'm glad someone is doing what she's doing. I'm glad it's her. Now, I've heard her interview. I forget the guy's name, but, you know, she does go. I don't think she's an anti-Semite, okay? I don't think that at all. That's just total bullshit. She does question, and a lot of people are questioning the power that Israel has in this country and the influence that they have on our politicians, and that there's a group called APAC that basically what they do is they use their money and their influence to send politicians from both parties, hey, why don't you come over to Israel, see the Holy Land? On us. We'll pay for it,
Yep.
and doing that. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't do that, but you can't you can't say anything or question anything related to Israel or Jewish culture right now or anything related like that. They're instantly labeling people as being anti-Semite. And look, you know what I am totally against? I am totally anti-Hamas. That's what I am. And I'm against something where a religion specifically says, hey, it's okay to lie for the greater good, for the great thing. You can lie so you can get into power. And one that for up to now have pretty much said, we don't think you have a right to exist. I don't know how you negotiate with people about peace when they don't even think you should exist at all. And that your state, that your country should not exist. I don't know how you negotiate with that. So I think, at least for me, I've always been pro-Israel, but I'm all right with the questions as well right now. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not where I was. I'm reevaluating that. And I think that was something that Charlie was doing as well. And when people are putting certain pressures on you and trying to entice you with money, that doesn't work on everybody. And it wasn't working on him. But I'm not I'm not following her for her take on that kind of stuff. I've listened to it. And then I've listened to what others have had to say as well. And I'm still, again, ultimately still pro-Israel. But do I want to be dragged into more wars with them? Fuck no. I don't. And it's almost like that friend. They feel like that friend sometimes. Like when, I told you, so I was, how do I say this? You could think... Troy just thinks he's a badass. Whatever. I don't really care. Maybe I was. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. And when I was in the Outlaw Motorcycle Club, I had a little bit of an attitude, a little bit of a walk, a little bit of a confidence, a little bit of a cachet. Like I didn't put up with shit, and that's when I was about my heaviest. Muscular wise too. I wasn't looking for a six pack. I was like 230, 235. Like I was walking around. I was like, yeah, I'm only 5'9.5", but you want to tangle. You take a good look and see if you really want to tango. You really want to go around. But sometimes I would have a certain friend around that thought that he could be a dick and be an asshole to other people, and that, Troy's here. He's going to cover us. He's got us. He's going to bail us out. You know what I'm talking about in those kind of groups?
Absolutely.
You have those ones that no, dude, that doesn't, just because I can do certain things doesn't mean I want to, or that's my first option. And it certainly doesn't give you the right to be a dick because you're my friend to be a dick to other people. Think I'm just going to keep bailing you out, because what I probably would do is I probably will bail you out. And then later I'm going to fucking punch you in the face too for being such a dickhead about that. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it does.
That's 100%. how I think of Israel a little bit now. Like sometimes they're that friend, that like, look, man, you need to just shut the fuck up, and not drag us all into, this shit. We got so much shit going on. That's kind of my That's kind of my take on it. And maybe I'm watching too much 007 James Bond. It's so funny, dude. I still say it's one of the funniest things you can do is go back to the beginning and watch some of these Bond movies. And one of the things that both Dawn and I have noticed is in the different movies, the number of jumpsuits that people wear.
Yeah.
You know, like work type jumpsuits. Like it's supposed to look like you're a scientist in a lab and you got a jumpsuit on over your clothes. Like, and I swear to God, dude, that they were in a little 2-person, 3-person, whatever it was, a little small sub type of thing. And they get out and they don't have like regular gear on that you would have if you're diving. Like they're not wearing diving gear. They're wearing this thing that has buttons and a collar. Like, how is water not rushing in there? Like, you couldn't wear that. That's not a thing that you would wear. And you don't have your flippers on either. You're like, it was so fucked up. Like, did people buy this shit? Or his skis get knocked off. He's been doing a lot. Roger Moore's been doing a lot of skiing in the ones we've been watching. He can ski on one ski too. And
that's impressive. Slalom?
That's of course. And so he has one ski and he's trying to get away from the bad guys. And he takes somebody off of a snowmobile, right? He knocks him and he gets on the snowmobile. And then the snowmobile, he jumps off it. The snowmobile gets shot at and explodes. And so you have, I don't know what you call them. What do you call them? The ski-like thing that's under the snowmobile.
Oh, I know. I don't know exactly.
I don't know what the
called.
technical name is, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's shorter, a little wider than a ski, but it's basically a ski, right?
Yeah.
So he picks up one of those. And so he's basically snowboarding on that thing. Okay. And then he jumps and somehow, on a snowboard, you're attaching the board to your foot, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, tell me where the foot thing is to put that snow ski thing is where you can attach that to your boot. Tell me where that is from a snowmobile type ski. It doesn't exist. Yeah. But yet he's jumping in the air with this thing and it's staying attached to his foot while it's in the air. And it's impossible for it to stay attached. Just picking up those kinds of things and laughing about it. And did people buy this shit?
I think it was kind of like they were just like, oh, James Bond, he can do anything. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I think that was like what they're kind of leaning on.
I don't know. Like that to me is like Mission Impossible. He does crazy shit. But it's still like, not this bad. And now we're, I don't know, 8, 9 movies in, whatever we're in, and we just skipped one again. I told Dawn, you got one job, but come on now, get us together here on these movies, and so we're watching them in a row. But it's so funny going back and seeing what the movies and what they do, and just
how times have changed. Yeah.
He bangs the bad guy women and the good ones. Like,
irresistible.
And you just keep hearing it over throughout the movie, and now 9 movies now, so we hear it every night. Oh, James. I don't know, man. I don't know. So, but anyway, so maybe I'm watching too much of that kind of thing, and maybe I've watched, I don't know, what the fuck is it called? There was you would like it if you haven't seen it, House of Cards.
I know of it. My dad was actually a huge fan of that. I haven't seen it though. It's a lot of people
House of Cards on Netflix.
Yeah, a lot of people like it because they say it's like gives you a pretty, not an exact understanding, but it gives you an idea of how that underground, behind closed doors type of shit goes down. Obviously, it's probably exaggerated just for a
I don't think so.
No?
That's the problem.
I wouldn't know. I've
right. No, that's the problem. I don't think it's exaggerated at all.
So it's kind of like hiding
at the highest levels. I think people are just like, that's how I feel. And how we got on this topic the other day. Is everybody doing shady shit? Like everybody? What keeps people aligned? And whether you believe in a religion or not, And it doesn't matter what religion per se, but just believing in one gives those people that have that belief a certain set of beliefs to live by that are absolutes. And not everything can't be subjective. And that's what you get with liberals. Liberals are everything is subjective, right? Everything is subjective. And what keeps people in line? What keeps people from people steal? It's a common thing. But everyone doesn't. And why doesn't everyone? What stops the ones who don't steal? What stops them from stealing? It's they have some internal belief that that's bad, or maybe even it creates bad karma. That's still a spirit. That still is something out there, something greater than yourself. So the whole thing about it is it all starts, and this goes back to me being a recovering alcoholic, sober over 17 years now, is that it all starts with the belief that there is a higher power and I'm not it. And if you don't have at least that basis, you're probably fucked up. And we have a lot of fucked up people out there. You know what I mean? We really, really do. Because they don't have any absolutes. It's all relative. Like it's okay, you know, that's how the left justifies things. It's okay for us to do illegal shit to try to get rid of Donald Trump because we're getting rid of Donald Trump and he's Hitler, and anything you do to get rid of Hitler is okay. That's where we're at. And, you know, I know we have to, for security purposes, I know we have to do certain things. But I'm like, what? It just gets really fucked up, and you get very deep in this shit, and you don't want to get overly too deep in it, because then you can't. I need to function in a positive world, in a disciplined world, in a and be motivated when I can be, you know, because motivation isn't everything. But this, hopefully that makes sense.
No, it makes sense, 100%. It's why should everybody, like, why should the majority of people walk this moral line, and then some people can jump back and forth whenever it's convenient for them, regardless of what's involved. There's a lot of people have a different answer on what's wrong and what's right, but that shouldn't be a debate. Just because you have a certain status, power, and money, that doesn't exonerate you from specific crimes, such as, like we've been talking about, the Epstein case, and a lot of other people who have not answered for a lot of things that they were complicit in. So, no, I understand that 100%. And it kind of goes back to, like, the age-old question, like, are we inherently evil, or does society make us that way? Like, is it money, stuff like that? Or are we just born and then we're just born evil and then we have to find our way to good? Like, there's a lot of...
We are born into sin.
Yeah.
And I do believe that. So,
and that's like the question that, you know, that's the one that stood the test of time. Yeah. Nobody's been able to really agree on this simple question.
But what we can agree on is, again, if you have something, you know, and I have my certain one and what I think is the best, but to have something, I'd rather have that somebody believe in something, even if it's not something that I believe as far as the religion goes, than for them to have none at all.
Yeah, directionless.
Because because they are directionless.
Yeah.
Everything is relative then. You know, and everything is subjective. And I just think that's total garbage. It's a shitty way to live.
One thing, like, again, we talk about how they always cut it out, and that's a whole different conversation. But you see all these high-level athletes that they reach the pinnacle of their sport, or even just they get there, they have a good game, they get interviewed. A lot of them, the first thing that they do is they give glory to God, because what I see is, on the surface, yes, he's religious, he believes in God, but at the same time, having that faith in that direction, whether I agree with it or I believe in it, that's what was able to propel him to that position.
Sure.
So, like, I think it's one of those things where the ends justify the means in that sense, if you don't believe in it, I guess.
But remember, we have these people that they believe anything is worthy of justifying their ends, and, you know, whatever you have to do, even if they believe it is morally wrong. But then what if you're not using religion as your moral standard, or some religion is your moral, then what standard are you using? You're using something. Everybody's using something.
That's
And
a
what
problem.
is that? Is it, and when it's not rooted in something that's greater than themselves, then that's where the problem is. And I just want, I want us to believe that we're, I still believe we're the best country, and I can't get away from that. Do I believe we've done fucked up shit over the whole time that we've been a nation? Yeah, we have. And so has everybody else. But we seem to try to want to correct ourselves better than anybody else. We seem to always be wanting to search for that thing to do right and be a good and righteous people. And that comes from our founding. It comes from our founding fathers, and why it's good that, it's not instilling a religion on people per se, but believing that we are and were a nation founded on Christian principles. It just is true. You cannot like it all you want, but we were. So, all right. That's what I have to say about that.
That topic's definitely going to come up
More,
in other
yeah,
shows,
because what are we doing?
It's constant.
We have so much stuff going on.
It's constant moral.
What's the right thing?
questions.
Do we get involved? Do we not get involved?
Yeah. But
And you have to do that to, yeah.
I say that. I guess that's why we put this segment right after the story that we just did.
Of course.
It's just a little bit more lighthearted. It's dumb news, which I've
Dumbass news.
Dumbass news.
You've had the dumbass news. Yeah, that's
Which I've
used to
told that
do
you do
that
like.
years ago on the radio show. So we're gonna stick with dumbass news.
All right, perfect. So
All right.
the
What
first-
do we got? Our first one.
the first one we have, it is boxing, but so we have U.S. heavyweight Jarrell Miller. He loses his hairpiece in the ring, and then he blames his mother's shampoo, which that is a serious line to cross there. I would have picked anything.
Did he win?
Yes, he did win, but
The guy who lost his hair won.
but he, in the eyes of social media, he won the match. But in the eyes of social media, with his
Okay.
hairpiece coming off, I don't know about that. But we do.
All right, let's see.
We
it.
do have the video of it. Yep, right, he knew immediately. Look at that. Oh,
That's so funny.
He paid $700 for that, by the
and
way.
then, and then he fucking throws it in the crowd.
Using that clip, like
you could-
he should somebody should show him how to get paid for that.
Oh yeah, he
More
definitely
than
could.
whatever he got paid for the fight, right?
Probably, if I had to guess.
That's funny shit, man.
All right. So the next time,
Good.
that we have,
That definitely fits dumbass news. For
So-
sure.
we have a man breaks into Little Caesars, starts making pizzas and selling them. And this happened in North Carolina, actually.
What the fuck time did they close? What time is he?
So I used to work at Little Caesars, like on Thursdays, like Thursday through like Saturday. You close at like 11, and then the other ones are like 10 p.m. So I'm wondering, like,
Yeah.
what the fuck was he doing? I'm thinking that they saw it open, assumed this guy worked there, and they're like, fuck it, let's grab a pizza. And then he was just like, yeah, here's a pizza, and then was pocketing the cash. But yeah,
Oh, this is so funny. A North Carolina man is facing multiple felony charges after he broke into a Little Caesars after closing time and started making and selling pizzas, according to the cops. It happened on Sunday, the day after the big snowstorm hit the state, and the suspect kept all of the money for himself. Of course, why would he not? And does it like that? You have to sell some pies, man, because they're only like $6 or $7, right? It's Little Caesars. The Kinston police said in a news release an arrest was made after the suspect tried to break into the shop a second time. So he got away with it the first time. And see what happens when somebody gets away with something? They think they can fucking do it again.
double dip.
The Kinston Police Department responded to Little Caesars in reference to breaking and entering. Upon arrival, the officers were advised 41-year-old Jonathan Hackett, a former employee, had unlawfully entered the business on 2 separate occasions. Yeah, so it was like, did you all forget to get the keys from the motherfucker? Is that what you do? You forgot to get the keys? Come on now. But that is some funny shit, man. Like, because you got to be like, aren't you guys usually closed? I thought I'd stay open a little later.
That's a different.
You want a pizza?
That's a different kind of opportunity.
You know, what he might have showed this business is maybe they're closing too soon.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, you might want to sell some pizza to some alcoholics after midnight. I don't
Cheap
know.
Pizza, yeah.
Right?
That rush,
Right?
absolutely. I could
Of
definitely
course.
see that. Or maybe like in a college town for sure if you change the hours.
Yeah. Well, isn't in Charlotte, isn't there a college like every 100 yards?
There's like UNC,
Like they're on
UNC
top
Wilmington.
of each other. And Duke, and
Duke,
they're
NC State.
Wake Forest, they're all, dude. It's insane how close they are together.
A lot of nice schools too there. Perfect. All right. So what we have,
Duke's campus is unbelievably beautiful.
I gotta make a trip there.
Yeah,
And-
that's
and
like
Cameron
God's
and-
country on that campus, dude. It's so beautiful.
Cameron and
One of the
Norris.
most beautiful campuses I've ever seen in my life.
So the next story that we have here, you'll like this one. I literally laughed out loud actually when I read this one. So we have 2 men detained in China for claiming male giant pandas had successfully mated.
Okay, now what does that mean exactly?
We're about to find out. We want to.
All right, let me read.
We want to
'Cause
figure this one out.
I'm
with you.
thinking successfully mated. Does that mean that you just? I mean, is it that hard to believe that? I don't know if it's that hard to believe, and I want to say this like before we read the story because I don't know the story. That there's just a couple of gay pandas. That gay is a thing among pandas or in wildlife. I mean, that is
they say certain
gay is a thing in some species, right?
Some species, but it's
or
very,
whatever we want to fucking call it.
the percentage
right?
of it is
Same-sex-
is so minute to the point
It may
where-
be,
yeah.
but that's not crazy. Now, mated in the terms of, reproducing, that's a different thing. So which are they claiming? They just claiming a couple pandas, so let's find out. Chinese authorities have detained 2 men for spreading false information, claiming that 2 male giant pandas had successfully mated in the wild. They arrest you for that shit?
It's
Like,
China.
see what I mean? Remember when I said, Leo, like lying is protected speech here in the U.S. Lying is protected speech. You can lie, you can say that, and people should be able to lie. Like, what's a lie? What's not? Is that really? I honestly, I don't know if it's possible or not. That's not my field of
I'm going to
study.
argue. I'm going to argue against that and say it's not possible.
It's not possible for pandas. Why they got little dicks?
I just don't think genetically or biologically
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
any interest in doing that.
Yeah.
I think they have. There's one.
well,
person
okay, but
that
why
has
would
a
you
reproduction-
make-
It's not
let's-
scientifically possible for pandas to do so. There's other
Is it-
species.
there may be. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just
there
saying, I
is
have
other
no idea.
species that can mate without a female, but pandas are not one of those.
Authorities opened an investigation, received reports that online accounts were circulating a fake screenshot about the city of Chengdu. Chinese media reported citing a statement from Chengdu Public Security Bureau. Image carried the headline, Chengdu, 2 male Sichuan giant pandas successfully mated in the wild for the first time. Well, how would you know it was the first time?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? If it was possible for them to do, you don't think? I mean,
would
how
have-
long have pandas been on Earth?
Say yeah.
Probably a while, right? I don't.
One of them might
again,
get a
I
little
don't know.
bi-curious.
But like just now, the first time, I think that's kind of outrageous to say. It's dumb, but I don't think you should be arrested for it. The men identified by police only by their surnames, Dong. So you're telling me Dong thought that pandas mated? Dong
Yeah.
thought pandas mated,
Allegedly.
and Gao were found to have deliberately distorted facts and used technical means to forge the image. Technical means what? You trying to say? They used AI. Of course, they used AI. Authorities said the pair posted the fabricated content online to attract attention. That's why everybody uses that to attract attention. That's why you see all of the fake shit. Okay, I got something else that we can get into someday. That, and I've only scratched the surface talking about it before. About I have a conspiracy theory.
Wow.
Okay, I know.
Everybody
I have another
mark
one.
this down.
I know. This is
May
like
not
my
ever happen
second
again.
one in a week or so. Okay. Like this is
feeling all
big
right?
for me. I know. I think that these posts that I hate on Facebook that people make up and try to use something like somebody that we hate at the moment or that conservatives hate at the moment, that that so-and-so turned down $100 million because they said they'd never work with so-and-so ever again. And it's all fake shit. They've done this with same thing. They insert different names and things like that.
Yep.
I think that is a government psyop.
To like
I think
specifically
the
target people with
government
their
isn't
views.
doing it. I think they're using it because so much information is being gathered about us right now.
Mhm.
Like just so much that is so over the top and you all have no fucking idea. I don't even have any idea how crazy it is that they're using that to see how stupid people are and what they can get people to believe. And because people will repost that shit. And then I come along and say, Bob, not Bob, not our friend Bob, bad name. Dan, okay, Dan, take that shit down. It's fake. I fact checked it for you. Don't post that shit, okay? You're making all of us conservatives look like idiots. And now I'm to the point where I think we almost have as many. I never wanted to believe this before, obviously, because I'm a conservative. But I think we almost have at least as many conservative idiots. We have almost, not quite as many as we do liberal idiots, because I think all liberals are idiots, okay? and I think all conservatives are not, but it's only a small amount of us. And so I'm basically calling 90% of the audience out there idiots.
I mean,
But if you're
you wouldn't be
listening
the
to
first.
us, it's not you.
Yeah, not you.
It's not you. I would
Everybody
never say
but
that.
you.
Everybody but you, because you're listening to this. But do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think it's like a different type too. Like
I
fall
think
for
they're
fake news.
using it to gather info because it's just insane the amount of it. That what can they get people to buy into? What can they get people to believe? No different than people believe, same thing about COVID. It was all like a test run, and then it was real and a real test run. And, what do they have planned and who are they and who's controlling this? And
that rabbit hole doesn't end.
see what I'm saying?
We can keep going down.
Take the tinfoil hat off my head, please, man.
You'll end up in China.
It's gonna make my head explode. But it just hit me. I think it was last night, maybe the night before. It just kind of hit me like all this fake fucking shit. They're using it to gather information.
Oh yeah.
On how dumb people are.
Well, yeah.
And people are really dumb.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. They're really, really dumb. And everybody can be mistaken. Even me. Okay. You can be mistaken. But when you buy into that stupid shit over and over and over again, then it's not a mistake. You're just really dumb. So there's that.
The world needs ditch diggers. That's what one of my science teachers told me.
Need baristas too, right?
But yeah, that's true. That too. So we do have a third story, but
okay.
Leo, are you running short on time? All right.
So what we need you all to do, right, is...
And sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, Troy, but I did forget to mention this to you before we started. We are actually now multi-streaming, so we are now streaming on all YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Rumble.
Oh, yeah!
So if for some reason you guys want to watch it on a different platform, it's available on all four. Our main platform will be YouTube, though, so everything will be live streamed from YouTube, and then that stream is going to be directed over to Twitch, Rumble, and Kick. So it is available to everyone on those platforms.
I love that, man. I do.
Yes, sir.
I do. That's so awesome. I'm totally stoked about that.
We're doing our best for you.
Yes, you are. That's good. And for the rest of you, you could do your best. You can share, some clips of the show to some people, get them interested. Hit that follow button for me. We haven't had a little push in a minute. If you like the show, help us get a little push. Ask, one of your adult kids to go on and like the show for us. Ask your spouse to like the show for us. Hit that follow button. We love and appreciate you. And we will be back on Friday. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.